The Keihs are meeting to discuss if this world needs to be destroyed.
So this is why Aria came. To save herself. That piece of shit.
We need her, Marty. If she didn't come, none of the others would.
You could have been honest with me about everything.
What have you done to prove to me you can be trusted? You've broken every boundary I've set, sneaking around when I said to stay in your room, or taking keys out of the Matrix without asking, or even simply eavesdropping on my private conversations. And now this!
How am I supposed to trust you after the months of nightmares you forced into my head to leave me here, where you've been nothing but vague and downright cryptic? This association here, right here, is not transactional. You are the one in need of me. Ugh, what now?
Hernicius.
Don't look so starstruck by my arrival, young ones. I'm without my legions. Consider me incomplete, or in a raw form, though I am the first of many on their way. Many Keihs, that is.
There's something, then nothing, glimmer of hope disappearing, abstraction, heart stopping, the evil nearing the mountain, just chaos, no order, seek answers underwater, deep at sea. This duality, our glasses can't flip anymore. What's left is reality, the mess of which everyone wishes ignored. Insanity is what's become of those meant to restore. Resistance is fantasy. Existence will slowly fade forevermore. Treason to the Keihs, left in place to freeze. If you can't receive this duality.
Everything's gonna be okay, sweetie. Our goddess has arrived.
But it's too late, I said.
Hey, I finished. Oh my. Your infection has progressed.
I've lost hope, Your Highness.
But I can fix you with this. The doctors, they can...
Please, let me pass.
All the Keihs are gathering to discuss solutions to the corruption. Your life is worth saving. Just trust me.
My goddess. Please. You've done all you can do.
Why are you still here?
It's just... I never gave you my name. And I couldn't help but overhear that woman's
Go
porn.
on then. What is your name?
Bryce Carell.
Good day, Mr. Corell.
Wait. I'm curious, you mentioned some sort of meeting with the Keihs?
Indeed. By my calculations, the corruption is worsening toward the point of no return.
And you're weighing the final options. Don't you find it, I don't know, a bit odd that those who suffer the least have all the say?
What are you getting at?
I feel a mortal's take could be beneficial to widening the perspective of the Keihs, who've let down ordinary people such as me and my family.
Are you implying you wish to come with me to the Keihs as the one person to represent all mortals? I see. What makes you more qualified than anyone else? Instead of widening, wouldn't you narrow our view of mortals with your singular perspective?
I've lived many lives. More than most. I grew up a Kratos servant until a contractor very kindly purchased my freedom, as he called it. Where I served in an army that only became another form of chains. I failed to protect my people from the brutality of the Black Hand, and I fled. And yet, somehow, the worst thing I ever did was the closest I felt to truly being free. I was buried in my regrets, and I was reborn for vengeance. And I began working closely with Vance as one of his Xavian knights. It was there where I saw the worst of the Keihs. Vance was killing hundreds, thousands even, all for petty revenge. And I realized that by joining him, I was no different. I took matters into my own hands, and I ended his reign. And right when I thought my life was turning around, the corruption ruined it all. I want nothing more than to make up for what I had taken from this world. It's clear your innovation here shows a deep desire to save humanity. And I am only inspired to join you. Presumptuous, maybe. But a very small part of me still believes the Keihs can make the future a better place. If only they could be influenced by mortals.
Curious. Very curious. I can't promise how the Keihs will respond, but at the very least, consider me convinced. I will do my best to make space for you at the table.
My greatest thanks.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Must be some important meeting, eh? Well, you can count on me to get the rest of them here by the end of the morning tomorrow.
Thank you. The stakes are at an unfortunate high. I'm afraid you'll have to wait until further detail. For now, get some rest.
By the way, he also told me to await further detail. Get used to it.
Excuse us, please.
Where do you think you're going?
To show you what's really on the line here. Since, of course, you must know everything at once.
Surprising.
I really wish you could fly right about now. Well, it wasn't exactly my choice. And I can't afford you poisoning the others with your delusions about my intent.
So that's what we're calling your ambiguity.
Would you shut up and take this?
I really wish I could fly right about now.
I know, right? I hope you're ready for an overnight hike. The Imperium... she's a steep one. I think that's all I can handle for now. You?
Oh, yeah, good call.
Hopefully Ernicius holds to his word, especially with Aria now on board.
Why are we at the Imperium, Des? What's here that can justify your secrecy?
Truthfully, Marty, I wish I knew how to communicate every possible risk, outcome, or flaw. Or every curveball or possibility that is spiraling through my head every single day. The price I've paid out of desperation to get you here was enough to put me past my limit. But now, I've brought on your suspicions, which, while understandable, are becoming something that I don't think I would ever be able to handle. You have to remember, I've never interacted with a living being outside the ones destined to guard this very temple, and it's been 20-some years since I became the last one here. I don't expect you to put every piece into perspective before you jump to a conclusion about me. All I ask is that you don't confuse the burden of my responsibility with the goodness of my soul. Don't. Just rest on it. Sleepy, huh? Here, this'll get you up to the top.
Des,
Come on, I'm gonna give you what you want. Here we are.
Okay, great. What's so important about this dump?
Well, do you see the mist rising behind the dark rock?
Uh-huh.
That's our destination. You may need one of these. Shit, where's my...
Turn away.
What?
Told you.
You coming?
they still be on our tail?
Hardly. The heir thou speak of, forgotten by the realm, the lineage, something.
Was that the right cadence?
I don't know. The heir thou speak of, forgotten by the realm, the lineage, something.
Honestly, I'd rather be in a sandstorm.
And whose writing it wasn't to follow the knights directly into this mess?
Well, what other choice did we have?
Forgotten by the realm. I sense the lineage to be West Flinterian.
That sounds about right.
Okay, I know it's all we have to go off of, but like, the yearly number of people born in West Flinteria must be in the thousands.
But only one directly under Thorn.
Not this again. He never would have hidden it from me, and you know that.
You're right. Sorry.
Besides, you will find the heir thou speak of, and all that forgotten-esque language has nixed any suspicion we had about that.
Would you quit arguing?
Guys, look out! Get up, soldier.
What happened?
Ship capsized. You fell unconscious. We're lucky we weren't far from shore.
That storm ended kind of abruptly, didn't it?
Doesn't matter. We have an heir to find and the knights are several steps ahead. There's ships in the distance, likely already docked.
At least we all made it in one piece.
I'd call that several pieces.
How in the world are we gonna find the heir?
We're gonna have to go one by one.
But who to start with? Are you aware of the symbol on your back?
Of course I am.
There are Xavians here?
Plenty. We couldn't stand to live in Xavia as we mourn the loss of our great Thorin.
Oh my Gistrif. We found our people.
Where can we find more of you?
More of what?
Former Xavians. Or anyone who knew Thorin.
That's confidential.
If only we brought the armor. You won't recognize us in this, but we are Xavian Knights. We want nothing but to avenge Thorin, and we need to know where we can find more people to connect to our leads.
I won't be telling you anything until you prove to me who you say you are.
Take us to the fucking spot.
You know, I nearly died the last time I was here. It's riddled with skeletons, spiders, and things I would rather not give names. One of them came at me like this!
Oh, Gistrif!
It's Inumra, actually. At last.
brought me here to see a dinky little tree? What the fuck, Des?
Would you have trusted me if I warned you?
I don't know, probably.
You see, I had no way of knowing that.
And what does that have to do with stopping the corruption?
Right there. Your brief suffering caused by an impulse is what would have happened on a larger scale if I had started with the full truth. You needed a slow introduction to the idea that this world could be ended, and everything else may not matter.
That is cruel.
Cruel? I don't have the privilege of seeing another day in a new world like you do. I should just run or even deny the threat to save myself from the burdens of making this decision. Yet, I consider what very little I know but the lives and the goodness of people to be sacred enough that they're worth fighting for, even if it means I'll die trying.
I think I understand. I'm selfish. I've long been selfish, acting out of my own interests, allowing them to sway my focus from what mattered and who needed me most. My body and mind, my grieving friends, the cities I once protected, the world. They all need me. These secrets, whether it be from you, Vance, or from anyone, I let them distract rather than teach me. And each cycle of this furthered me from remembering what my duty is as a protector, a guardian. But none of it matters if there's nothing left. Even in a new world, what would I have to live for if I let myself succumb to such frivolous things?
She senses purity.
She?
How may I serve you?
Say, out of all the places folks would gather to mourn Thorin, why a bar?
We drink to forget, but we always remember.
You think people will mind us asking them a few questions?
Be my guest.
Are either of you born in West Fronteria, by chance? Or anyone you know?
What does it concern to you?
Oh, it concerns me greatly. I'll ask again. Were you, or anyone you know, born in West Fronteria?
Oh, well, I don't believe so. But I can double check.
How about a cheers to you rascals' first drinks?
Huzzah! Guys?
What is it? You change your mind or something?
My brother.
I think I'd rather have a hangover.
We need to go. Now.
How in guest trip did they find us here?
The Mother Tree. The sentient core who controls our entire reality. For how mighty she is, exposure to the corruption is a worse fate than death. This world would simply cease to exist, with no evidence for whatever is beyond to know we ever lived. Our only chance to save any remnant of this world would be to reset it.
And how do you know this to be true?
We do not live within the first world.
Oh my God.
Yes, we're dealing with the unimaginable. If the world were to reset, beginning the process would kill me. And all remaining Keihs would be responsible for building the new world from the ground up. And who knows? It's not guaranteed you even make it through, as our world is the first in which orbs bonded to mortals, creating the Keihs. It is left in the hands of the Mother, though I would think she's satisfied with her creation for this world. It lasted her long.
Maybe what happened in previous worlds could show us how we got ourselves into this severity of corruption. Is it possible for her to show me?
If you touch her, she may show you.
I don't think I want to touch her after.
You have to approach the Mother slowly, extending your arm in advance. But before you do, beware of the sensitive information she carries. Don't worry, it's only another episode. You're still safe to touch.
Fire orb. It was tracked. Civilization was able to keep the orb out of her control.
Then that's probably what is happening now. Let me see something. Every element and their opposite are either accounted for, or are both missing. Except for one. Your life orb is. However, the death orb is missing.
They definitely killed our parents.
And they're after us next!
Or somebody took them out while we fled.
Or they ended up here by pure coincidence.
Oh yeah.
Good thinking.
That sounds reasonable.
So how about we all try to stay calm and think positive? Forget about how there are thousands of islands the Knights could have traveled to, but they chose this one, so they're most definitely in some way connected to our friends who are probably all dead. Oh, we're fucked!
Wait a second.
Quinn?
Bartender, what the fuck are they doing here?
We really couldn't stay in Maplewood. The corruption ran wild and...
There is no more Maplewood.
Oh, I'm so glad you're safe.
And where's Leo?
Lad went with that Dexter lady. Don't know where, but he's safe.
So, why were y'all running?
Right, you'd never believe who we ran into at the bar, like 2 minutes ago.
The Knights?
How did she know?
Take us to them.
And you're absolutely sure your client was born in West Flinteria? Not just a resident at any point in their life, or from the northern sector, or...
I can assure you, my client is West Flinterian by birth.
You better be counting on it.
They have a lead on the air.
Dani, Una, and Felix, you're with me. We'll trail close behind. The rest of you be our backup.
We need to check the logs on Vance's death. I'm looking to see if there's anything you didn't already know.
Finally.
Oh, why, yes! Yes, I was
Merely preparing some appetizers before we get started.
It's nice to finally meet you, Marty. I could never really understand what the purpose of a life key is. I mean, I'm right here. Can't creation and life be considered the same thing?
Well, clearly we serve different purposes. I was occupied running from Vance for nearly all of my keyhood, so I'm still trying to find that purpose. Since so cold, nothing's been quite as straightforward.
How cold, you say? Yesterday, I gifted some of your battlemates a ship in my kingdom.
They're not in Maplewood?
Yeah, they were in Kratos. I mostly did it as a tax write-off.
You get taxed?
Well, I tax civilian income. And because I, too, am a citizen, I tax myself, yes. My portion tends to be bigger, of course. So, that's the part I wrote off. Business, baby.
Oh, good for you, I guess.
Valia just arrived, so make it quick.
Did you find anything in the logs? I just heard that my friends back home were spotted in Creation's kingdom. I think they're in danger, Des.
We're gonna have to cool it for the meeting. And no, I couldn't find it. I think the death orb is straight up missing. It's meeting time, folks! So firstly, I'd like to apologize for the mental pestering it took to gather us all here. However, we've got a bit of a problem. The corruption has gotten out of hand, and over the course of only a year, it's nearly spread to this very temple. Quite frankly, if the corruption were to reach the Mother Tree, our world would inevitably end. I'm afraid that if we can't find an immediate solution to slow or stop the corruption, we'll be forced to purge this world. And you all, as the Keys, will have to move on to forge the next iteration.
If you ask me, resetting this world would be better for everyone. A fresh start, a clean world, a second chance at all of our societies. Think of all the mistakes we've made along the way. We know what steps to take to avoid them.
Respectfully, I object. Millions of people walk this world. Mortals whose lives matter. We can't decide the fate of millions between the 6 of us.
You're right, Marty. But the suffering is only getting worse.
Don't you think they've had enough by now? It's about time we make the difficult decisions we signed up for upon becoming Keys.
What makes you think we can come to a decision of this gravitas if we haven't used everything in our arsenal to try and stop this corruption? What efforts have you all made?
I've been trying, and my attempts have failed. I've done the most I can for my people, and yet they still beg me to let them die.
My own apprentice and his army paid with their lives, meddling with the corruption. It can kill anyone and anything.
Ooh, as much as I hate to say it, the corruption's been great for my economy.
Yeah, your economy. But your people are left to starve and die. Des, please, get this disgrace of a key out of here.
Big swings coming from the guy who has yet to tell us what he's done to find a cure. All talk, no change. Typical life key.
Valia, would it help if Cyril were to bankroll your research into a cure?
It's a possibility. But either way, we fundamentally don't know how the corruption works. Though, I do have other pieces in place in regards to research.
Then let's join forces and devote our everything toward finding that cure.
All I'm hearing is empty pockets if we follow through with this.
Why can't you just help your people out of goodwill? Why is there a price on life? Surely, being the almighty creation key, you could set aside your personality of riches and, I don't know, create various things to test against corruption instead of sitting here bitching about your goddamn tax write-offs? Are any of you willing to sacrifice something for humanity? Anyone? What would millions of people think if they were here right now, watching as gods hem and haw over their fate, as if mortals weren't responsible for making the world what it is today? You're pathetic if you think the gods have done a net good for this world.
A bit bold, but I see your point. Some of us were mortals once, but maybe our opinions have been swayed too much in favor of ourselves. A proposition, if you don't mind. This meeting has representatives from all walks of life, but none of us are mortal.
Besides me, but continue.
Besides you, yes. However, what I'm trying to say is, I know a man who could sit on this meeting to represent a surprisingly well-rounded mortal experience. Perhaps this could allow for a more balanced dialogue?
I simply can't allow mortals into the temple.
Come on, Des. This could be what we need.
Let's take a break. Hendrix, a word? We can't have another mortal let loose in this temple, Marty. The stakes are too high. And besides, the last time a mortal was here, gone was Mr. Sparkles. And I won't let anything like that happen again.
Des, you made me realize I focus far too much on what doesn't matter. This is one of those moments for you. If we truly want what's best for the people, we can't let these worries hold us back from doing what's right.
I don't like the sound of it. But if you can convince Vance or Red to keep a watchful eye while we're occupied, it'll be alright. Fine. Our meeting is being postponed until Valia can return with the spokesperson who will serve as our mortal representative. If you wish to stay, Aria can show you to your rooms.
You did good, Marty, but I'm afraid of Cyril. He won't take you seriously unless you give him a run for his money. Literally.
I appreciate it, but you weren't taking me seriously either by keeping the truth of my past a secret. And by the way, you two are responsible for making sure our mortal representative doesn't get into any trouble.
Ugh. What did you do this time, honey?
It really was best if he didn't find out. Aria's the only other one to have known. She must be attempting her manipulation tactics again.
It sounds to me like you owe an apology. Maybe in the form of another lesson?
Why have you summoned me in the middle of the night?
Apologies. I've been at work since the meeting, and I'm almost certain this machine could do wonders in stopping the corruption. I've made a huge discovery. Can you give me the sword?
Okay.
All it takes is the perfect position, and voila! Oh, Gistrip, it's glorious!
What is that?
Don't play naive, Mr. Xavier Knight. You know that's death energy, and it's being siphoned and amplified from the sword. Now, if my theory is correct, this should affect a corruption sample. It seems we have a success!
Does this mean that the cure for the corruption is death energy?
It has to be.
You are a genius!
Don't get ahead of yourself. There's no way the machine could cure the entire world, let alone a singular city.
Obviously, it can't save the world in its current state. It'd take a godly amount of death energy to save Slovia by itself. I'm thinking that if I had only a few weeks, I could build a machine big enough to sustain the Imperium. At the very least, it gives me more time.
In a few weeks, there may not be anything left. It's not worth the risk. But if what you theorize is true, needing godly amounts of death energy, then maybe a death key could provide that energy?
Oh. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Smooth.
But I assume this would require removing the Kaiden orb from the sword.
You're not wrong.
So, do you know how we can remove it?
No. I don't know how. Without. The meeting went horribly. Half of the keys are only in it for themselves.
I'm so sorry. I would have hoped.
But you got the platform. They agreed for you to serve as the representative of mortals.
It worked.
A slight warning. My contact can be a bit, much.
We're used to that.
Mr. Lockett, you have a visitor.
Yes, I'm coming. Lydia?
Father?
You survived. You survived after
The what?
Great heavens! What do you think you're doing running up my floors? They've just been cleaned. Hold on, I think I have something that could work.
Did you know he was alive?
He must have ran when Clarence attacked. Coward! We're not doing anything until you tell me why you left me to die.
Well, you see, Clarence was there for a reason. More than you could ever comprehend.
Try it.
Damn it! Could use your help here, Father. Father?
What the?
You're real?
Huh? What is the meaning of this?
You had me gobsmacked when one Death Air entered my home. But now, two?